would your advice be to a listener who maybe has something they want to accomplish, but that inner voice keeps telling them, I can't? They're kind of just sitting in this loop where they're doing nothing, but have this aspiration. What would be your advice to them?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in that. I normally kind of have my ending message wrapped up with all these things, but I'd say if anyone has seen stuff online or anything, a lot of headlines or titles have been can't isn't part of your vocabulary, or can is a four-letter word, and things like that. That's from my book and just from headlines that people have made. And so that comes from my childhood where my parents said can't isn't part of your vocabulary. And but it's where that comes into play is kind of tied into your question. So it's more than just like saying that as a sentence. It's removing that from your thought process and from your life, and not in just some philosophical way, but in like a reality kind of day-to-day things. And so it's actually tied in. So the title of my book is Everything is Possible. And but it's tied in with the whole can't isn't. I didn't like do this. I didn't try to make up some master plan. I just, as the book came out and as I talked more, I'm like, that's actually hand in hand. So the taking the can't out of your vocabulary and the everything is possible, it the way it comes out practically is like the one thing that all of us have in common. There's one thing everybody in the whole world, no matter where you're from, has in common, and that's obstacles and struggles. Because nobody is free from those. Nobody gets a free pass in life from that. Nobody. So it's kind of like it's a nice equalizer, levels the playing field. And the way I think that it plays out practically is that we all are going to have like these mountains in our lives. And so when the mountain comes, because it's wind, and we see the mountain, and sometimes we're afraid, and we're like, how am I going to get, like, I don't even have all the answers. That's like, yeah, that's normal. I mean, I have certainly been there and I will be there again. All of us will. But I think where it practically makes a difference is that if we can look at the mountain and be like, okay, I don't have all the answers. I am afraid. Like, I don't know. But if we believe that, okay, I believe at least that I know I can somehow get to the other side, that I have to go around or over it or chisel through a little every day, day by day, believing that it's possible. I think that is where we win and lose the battle, just there, like before we even go over it. Or it's the difference of looking at it and being like paralyzed and then never moving, or being terrified and then just running away from it. You know what I mean? And I think that is I like practical things and things that I can just make sense to me. And so for me, that whole taking can out of your vocabulary and everything is possible, that is to me how it you can kind of break it down into this like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. And it's also like a day by day thing. It doesn't have to be this huge unattainable thing, that's like out there somewhere in the wind. But it's just this, okay, today, yep, this situation sucks or it's overwhelming or it's whatever, but I believe or I don't. That's kind of it. It's either we believe it or we don't, that it's possible to somehow get over there. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be fast, but at least you believe that you can. And that motivates you, you know what I mean? Like it gives us that grit and that just the belief that like, yeah, I can get through that. I can do it.